What's up? What's up? What's up? You have tuned in to the iDads podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm here with my co-host, Eric. Eric, what's going on?
Just excited to be here, Matt. Here we go again, another week, man. Got a lot of stories for you.
Here we go. Here we go. I see you got your San Jose shirt on, which I love, representing San Jose, the Bay Area, the 408.
Yep.
Hey, I just got done. I know you just got done. We just got done watching the Super Bowl. So tell me, what are some of the things that jumped out to you?
I mean, the game or the whole setup in my backyard that I had to do.
Yeah, you were telling me, right? You did the east side,
I did the east side
setup,
thing,
right?
I literally just took my TV in the backyard and connected the Roku and pretty much the sound bar. And I have a couple couches that I actually was in transition. I bought new couches and I had put them outside because I was going to get rid of them. And they just came in handy with the Super Bowl. And I just put a sheet over them and we all sat down. Some of the nephews came over and we just watched the game over in our backyard. And it was awesome. It was an awesome game. I blowout. I was actually rooting for Kansas City. I'm not much of a Brady fan, although I respect his career. But I mean, he just, that just tells me I shouldn't be betting against him. I mean, he is the GOAT, so that's why they call him the GOAT for a reason. But I'm a Kansas City fan. I'm a 49er fan. So one of the main things is, I'm rooting for Kansas City. I just couldn't do the Tampa Bay thing.
It was kind of tough for me because as a 49er fan, back in the day when Joe Montana left and he went to Kansas City, a lot of people I know and even myself were like, oh man, I'm a Chiefs fan now just because of Joe Montana.
Exactly.
So Kansas City kind of always had a place in my heart. But you know what? Number one, the East Side setup to watch the Super Bowl is dope, right? The most fun I've had at watching sporting events has been the ghetto East Side setup where you got all the homies in the backyard. Exactly. The barbecue's going, the TV sitting on some rinky dink table that everybody's like, don't touch the table, the TV might fall, and they're just, everybody's just back there chilling. Like, so the setup you have, I'm envious of. What were you barbecuing though?
We had a little bit of carne asada. We had the nephew really hooked it up with some ribs, some tri-tip, some slow cooked chicken, some barbecue chicken. I mean, it was great. I mean, we had the works. Let's put it that way.
I'll tell you what, social media and the Super Bowl, it makes me hungry. I saw a lot of pictures on social media. My cousin posted one. My cousin Casey, he posted one of this beautiful brisket that he had been smoking since like 3:00 in the morning. So that fool's committed to the barbecue game.
Yeah.
He's committed to the Super Bowl game because waking up at 3:00 in the morning to go out there and barbecue is just crazy. But that's what iDads do. I mean,
exactly.
iDads set up ghetto setups outside to barbecue, to hang out with friends and family. And he did it perfect, social distancing.
Well, I actually used one of a small little table that my daughter kind of does a lot of her creative artwork, and she's 3 years old. She's like, "What are you doing with my table out here?" And I was using all the furniture I could out there, so it included my daughter's little art table. So
hey, you got to do what you got to. You got to do what you got to do, though. Yeah. I watched Super Bowl with my dad, my brother, my brother-in-law, and one of my friends, and I'll tell you, Mike, this is what it was like watching it with my brother. He goes, "Man, that was a great game. I'm so glad the San Jose Sharks won the Super Bowl." And I'm like, what I did see that there's a couple of things that stand out to me from the Super Bowls. Number one, you're right. Never bet against Tom Brady. Everybody was asking me, hey, who's going to win the Super Bowl? I said, don't bet against Tom Brady. That's who I'm rooting for. They may lose, but don't bet against Tom Brady.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I learned my lesson. I mean, just with Tom Brady, and I'm just rooting for Kansas City because like I said, we have this attachment for with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, and and it just rooting for Kansas City was just the option for us as well.
What did you think of the halftime show?
Halftime show. I mean, I'd rather, to be honest with you, I mean, the weekend was, it was a good performance, but I'd rather, see J-Lo and Shakira, going out there. Might be just the Hispanic heritage that's it's calling that, but or just the hot bodies they might have. Hopefully my wife doesn't see this, but
it's just, I don't know. The thing with my wife was stoked. She's like, the weekend, she couldn't wait. She couldn't wait all week. That she came in the room to watch the halftime show. That's the only thing she watched. And then she left immediately. And I looked over it at one point, because I was really, really into the game going into halftime. And I looked to her at one point and I said, man, I've never been so ready for the weekend to be over. I mean, that's how I felt. Like, it felt like it was going on forever. And at one point I was just ready to watch the game again.
Exactly.
Because it was just going on forever. Another thing, did you see that commercial for Oatly milk?
Oatly milk. No, I did see that. Oh yes, the one with the piano.
Yes. Dude, that's the CEO of the company. That is the CEO of the company.
That's why we're brothers from another mother, man. I mean, you saw the same one. I was just capping on that guy, dude.
I was like, who sits around in that boardroom for Oatly milk and goes, hey, we're gonna spend $1 million on a commercial, and our commercial is gonna be our CEO sitting in a field singing terribly. I mean, his voice was horrible. The song was terrible. Cow, wow, how, mow.
No cow,
no cow, no wow. Like, I was like, are you serious? So that was the highlight of the Super Bowl for me. Was definitely the cow commercial, the Oatly commercial, and they're getting tons of publicity out of that commercial.
Especially with the no cow. I was like, dude, what is this little square guy doing in the middle of nowhere?
I immediately looked on Twitter and it was like trending. It was number 4, Oatly.
Already.
So listen, Oatly milk, while I disagree with your marketing strategy, it worked out brilliant, right? I mean, I remember it. It's the only thing I remember from the Super Bowl commercials. So,
yeah, no, I like the Dorito commercial, the 3D one, where you got stuck in the vending machine. That one was actually pretty cool too.
The Matthew McConaughey, the Matthew McConaughey commercial, that was pretty good, where he was flat the whole time, and then all of a sudden he gets those 3D Doritos, which I'm not sure about, because it's like, what's in the middle of those Doritos? Just air? That's a bugle at that point. That's not a Dorito. That's a bugle. We've done that in the chip game. Like,
it's like the Mexican chips, bro. They got just, you got the chips way at the bottom, and it's just full of air.
Exactly. It's a ripoff. Don't buy them.
It's a ripoff.
Doritos 3D chips, great commercial. Terrible chips.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. They're probably pretty good chips. Who doesn't love Doritos? But, again, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to us here at the iDads podcast, and we hope that you'll take the time to throw us a like, to give us a subscribe. We hope that you enjoy the content that we're putting out here. We're enjoying doing it. We're having a good time. This is our first official episode. Right. So we just want to say thank you for being here. Eric, I mean, that San Jose shirt, man, I'm telling you, I love it. It's popping.
Well, born and raised in Eastside San Jose, so I got to represent. So
I love it.
You see how it's like going to high school on the East Side was a little tough. You know how that goes. With in the East Side, going to school, trying to learn at the same time.
What do you mean going to school on the East Side? We know that you going to school meant showing up and then disappearing for the rest of the day. Come on.
You know me too well.
Come on.
Every time it was roll call, there was an empty chair that said my name on it.
Well, listen, so talking about
Is that
school,
why you have the empty chair next to you?
I do. I've been waiting for you to show up for the Super Bowl and nothing. You'd rather kick it outside in your backyard.
I had to do the ghetto setup. You know how that goes. I had to just set it all up for you.
So what? Because you're doing the ghetto setup, you can't invite your one white friend?
Was your setup? You should have. Yeah, I should have invited you. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
I apologize.
It's all good.
Hey, but you know what? It works both ways, though.
That's true. That's true.
All right, what was my invite?
You could have rolled over here, man. But you've been watching the game with the Sharks fans.
That's true, right?
You know, so you may have had it better over there. I don't know. But we talk about school, we talk about high school. So as dads, you and I both got the experience this year of 100 days of school, of social distancing school.
Correct.
What did 100 days look like for you?
I mean, here in California, as you can see, you know, with all the homeschooling, you know, connecting to the Wi-Fi, you know, getting your laptop, you know, set up, you know, getting locked out, you know, so there's a lot of challenges, you know, going through the homeschooling. I mean, that's kind of the main thing was for us, you know, with my daughter, my 9-year-old, was getting her, you know, connected, getting her situated, getting her that area where she could concentrate and actually, you know, go through the class, you know, and pay full attention. I mean, a lot of this new core learning, I mean, it's new to me, and it's new to her. So, I mean, if we're both learning at the same time, and I have to work and come back and also try to solve the core learning and try to teach her, I mean, that's kind of where I had a challenge with learning. I know you went through something similar, right?
Listen, we have to, I mean, we got to hand out a lot of thank yous after this pandemic's over. You know, we thank the first responders, we thank essential workers, you know, but we need to thank these teachers for doing this homeschooling, because this is a nightmare. We got to thank the parents, the moms, the iDads, the dads out there that have been holding it down during this homeschool. And to make it 100 days, is a huge accomplishment. But you're right. I mean, the common core math drives me insane. Listen, I went through school, I did math, I got through all the curriculum that the schools asked me to do in math. So I know how to do math. And now you're giving us this new way of math, this new way of doing math that you haven't been teaching before. And that's fine. You want to give us that new way of math. That's cool. But then you're going to call it Common Core. What is common about it? It's a new system of math. It's not common. It's uncommon core math, and it stinks. Quite frankly, it stinks. That's my rant on math. I just, the 100 days of school, God bless my wife. You know, I see her helping my son with the homework, with the schoolwork. And then I see her at night when he's in bed, she's over there on the computer doing schoolwork, learning how to do it. Like you said, we have to learn it first, and then so that we can teach it to our kids. That's tough. It's tough, man.
I mean, a simple 2 + 2 = 4 it's 2. How many ones are in the ones place? It's a nightmare. I mean, it's just I'm pulling my hair just to telling my daughter, look, it's 4. Just put the number 4 there, and let's move on to the next question. And she's the one kind of correcting me and telling me, no, you need, Dad, that's not the way you do it. That's the old way of doing it. Right. So that's kind of like, you're the old. I felt so old when she said that to me. That's the old way of doing it. I said, it's the right way.
Did I get the answer right?
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So, I'm 100 days of school is listen, we should have thrown a bigger party for it. There should have been bigger acknowledgement, bigger fanfare for it. In my house, my kids made huge posters. My wife helped to make huge posters for 100 days of school. Yeah. I bought my wife a wonderful Cricut cutting machine. And so my wife designed some t-shirts. We made some dope t-shirts that the kids could wear. We really wanted to make a big deal out of it because for all the parents out there, the moms, the dads, and the teachers, the school systems, that's huge because this year's 2020 sucked already. But I'm thankful that there's been at least something for the kids.
For the kids, yeah, something that they can unite and communicate. And yeah, like you said, I mean, thank all the teachers that are homeschooling, that are actually showing up every day, connecting, and, trying to do the best they can to communicate to these children that their attention might not be there 100%. And giving them the right breaks, kind of, homeschooling, it's just a totally different challenge. I mean, as you know, here in California, with all the fires, a lot of people that are watching might not know that, here in California with all these fires, I mean, power outages, your Wi-Fi connections were down. I mean, there's so many challenges out there for homeschooling. And, the teachers would understand, when your household was, without power, or you didn't have a Wi-Fi connection. So, and then that's kind of kudos to all the teachers that are, that might watch. We do appreciate your hard work in teaching our children and homeschooling them.
Teachers, I mean, listen, it's taken a village. It's taken a village to raise our children during COVID, and it's taken a lot of people, a lot of resources and a lot of effort from a lot of people to pull this off. And it's pretty impressive, and it shows the resiliency that we have as humanity, which is kind of cool to see. So 100 days, cheers to us, man. Mad props to us for 100 days. iDads out there, way to go. Keep it up. Hopefully we're coming up to the end line of this, but at least, for us here in California, for those of you in other states, I checked out some of the YouTube stats, like we're like super popular in New Jersey of all places, like
Really? That's
where like most of the listeners were coming from, was New Jersey. And I'm like, I don't even have a New Jersey accent or anything. I'm some chill white dude from California, like I'm a surfer basically.
Right.
And then the token right? Mexican,
Right, there you go.
The token California Mexican. So 100 days of school, we did it. I wanted, this last week for me was, I'm gonna throw a pun out there, and it's gonna be such a cheesy joke. It's even today, watching the football game, my brother David was telling me, he's like, "Oh, are you going to tell another dad joke? Is this a dad joke for your podcast?" But I have another cheesy joke. Is I did have a crappy week this last week. We have two bathrooms in my house, and we have the hall bathroom, which is that's the kids' bathroom. But every time I go in there, it smells like like something's been sitting in the toilet for a little while and didn't get flushed, which is, if you got kids, that's very common. But it just always smelled, and I can never figure out.
It's not the O-ring underneath the toilet seat or anything like that.
Listen, I'm an iDad. It's my job to figure these things out. And,
right?
I was really struggling to figure out why my bathroom smelled like urine. And I the other day I had to go. It was one of those situations as a man, as a dad, where time is of the essence, and I beelined it for that bathroom, and it's the closest bathroom when you come in my house. It's the closest bathroom to get to, rather than going to the bathroom, which I prefer, which is mine, which is all the way in the master bedroom. I beeline it to the bathroom. Eric, have you ever had to go?
Yeah, no, okay. Definitely.
Listen, so
like,
this isn't
out the way.
This isn't an uncommon problem for men, for us iDads, for anybody. I get to that bathroom, I hook it around the corner, I get ready to do what I need to do, and I go to get on the toilet seat, and bro, the toilet seat was like a slip and slide. I flew off that thing and I hit the wall. So now I'm starting to put pieces together, right? Maybe the smell is because I have a 9-year-old son who wakes up in the middle of the night and goes to the bathroom and does his thing. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I heard in prison, they make dudes, when they go to the bathroom in prison, you got a cellie. Dudes don't stand up and go to the bathroom in prison. I don't know if personally, I've never been myself. I've never been in that situation. But I've seen
Mexican guy, right?
I'm not asking the Mexican guy. I'm just saying, like, I've seen documentaries. I'm pretty sure it's true.
My
Wait, are
tat.
you showing your neck tat? Okay. All right. Chill out, vato. Chill out.
Chill out, vato.
And so, so now I'm wondering if I have to have a conversation with my son on how to, how to go to the bathroom in prison. Like, is that a good idea? Like, do I need to teach my son how to go to the bathroom? Listen, son, you need to sit down and go to the bathroom, even when you're going number one. So, I mean, that was mine. I had to rush and use the restroom. Then, a few days later, my son's doing homeschool. Here we are talking about homeschool again. And he had asked his teacher if he could use the restroom. And she said, yeah, hold on. Because my son's constantly taking advantage. Listen, like us, like we did in school.
Right.
They go to the bathroom and we disappear to the bathroom and we're gone the whole period, right? We're gone the whole time during school because we found some chick in the hallway or one of our homies that we're chopping up with, right?
Yep.
I mean, Eric, that's why you missed so much school.
That's why there was an empty seat in the class. I mean, it was I was always out in the hallways.
Exactly. So, so my son does that. So the teacher said, hold on a second. Well, it's the true story where the boy who cried wolf, this was an emergency. And so he had a little accident during school, during the Zoom call in his bedroom. And I happened to be home from work, and my dear wife, listen, this is the iDads podcast, and you think you'd come on here and we're dads, we're going to be bagging on our wives. Just wait, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But right now, my dear wife is in there and she's scrubbing and cleaning and scrubbing. And it's, I go in there hours later and it just stinks. And I'm like, listen, whatever he did on that rug is not coming out. It's got to go. And so that was my week, man. My week was filled with bathroom experiences. How about yours?
Hey, man, if you're talking about bathroom experiences, I mean, you should talk to my wife. She's always complaining that for some reason she says I pee on the floor. I don't know what she's talking about. She says she puts on her socks and she comes out with wet socks. I mean, I don't know if it's the O-ring on the toilet seat or I'm not aiming correctly. I don't know what's going on here. So
is that your go-to? Is that your go-to if something's wrong in the bathroom? Hey, it's got to be the O-ring on the toilet.
It's the O-ring on the toilet or something. Something's leaking out of the toilet. I just don't know, man. And the wife, she actually monitors when I go to the bathroom and make sure that I don't, spill anything on the side or anything. And it's just, the wife is just cracking the whip on that. So, I mean, that's your 9-year-old, So maybe something. So
basically, what you're saying is I need to have the talk with my son and you on how to.
We both need training.
How to prison pee. I need to teach you fools how to prison pee. Is what you're telling me.
I don't think I need to sit down and pee yet. It doesn't look right. You're going into the men's room and you're sitting on the urinal. That just doesn't look right.
Hey man,
you just got to make the changes. You got to adapt. It's just. I have to aim better. That's all it is, But hey, it doesn't help when you're watching the Super Bowl and you're halfway drunk and you go in there and you just peeing all over the place.
Well, I think it's an easy excuse to blame men, right? Because we're the only
right.
We're the only ones standing aerial shooting liquid down, and so it's an easy excuse. But my counterpoint would be, how do you know it's mine? How do you know it's not yours? Let's get it tested.
It's the same issue we have with who's putting the toilet seat down. I said it takes the same amount of effort to bring it down as you can bring it up.
Oh man, see, you're a terrible husband. You're just a terrible husband. The fact that you can't put the toilet seat down, you're just a terrible husband. That's all that is.
It's just it's the argument, but then after that, we always give in. And I have to put the toilet seat down. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
there's new rules around the house now. The wifey, she owns them. So,
well, speaking of always being in the wrong, I here with my wife recently, we had a little conversation that towards the end of the conversation, it showed out that I was right and she was wrong. You know, it was one of these very rare moments. It's like seeing a unicorn or a leprechaun. It's a very rare moment where I was right and she was wrong, right? And so she apologized, which is awesome. But right
Nice.
after the apology, I'm like a little puppy dog, like, oh, you're the greatest, babe. Oh, I love you. You're so wonderful. And I'm like, man, just 5 minutes ago, I was so mad at her waiting for this apology, and I get it. And I immediately turn into this like little whipped dog, you know, at her feet, just like, oh, pay attention to me, please. It's like, man, even when I'm right and I win, I lose.
Oh yeah.
And that's part of being a man. That's part of being a husband. That's part of being an iDad.
Yep. That's why iDads put the toilet seat down.
Put the toilet seat down, iDads. Hey, iDads, if you got to do it, prison pee.
Just do it. Yeah.
You know, let's stop playing games. You know, prison pee. Hey, you know what? And it's funny. I Googled it. I looked it up because I wanted to make sure that, like, is this a thing? And I'm telling you, if you got a cellie in prison, that's how they do it. But they don't sit like they're going number two. They sit facing forward. So it's almost like it's double. Like, you get ultimate privacy, you get ultimate control, you know? So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a master class on prison pee.
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know, man. So
we got some of our listeners just right. They're actually going to Google right now, Googling prison pee.
No, we probably have some listeners that have been prisoners that are probably listening, going, man, these guys are idiots, man. If I saw them in the yard, I would shank them so fast. You know what I mean? These fools don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly right.
They don't know nothing about prison pee.
They know prison pee here, you know.
It's the PPP, prison pee position.
Wow.
So I talked last week a little bit about the word ghosting, and again, you know, I was again talking at the Super Bowl with some of my fam, and it's like, they're like, gosh, you're an old man. Like, you're not going to be cool. You're not going to be hip. Quit trying. And because I thought my the weekend halftime joke was hilarious. I thought it was gold, you know, that like, I've never been so excited for the weekend to end. Nobody's ever uttered those words in humanity. Like, oh, I'm looking so forward to Monday. I'm so excited for the weekend to end. Nobody's ever uttered that. But we talked about ghosting last week. I got another one for you this week. You ready?
All right.
No cap.
No cap.
No cap. I was talking to one of the guys at work. I was telling him, hey, this is how things need to go. And he looked at me and he goes, no cap?
No cap.
And I turned around.
Baseball cap or what?
And I'm thinking, do we need to put a cap on something? Is something spilling somewhere? No. I was thoroughly confused. Apparently, so I had to go again, because listen, we have iPads, we have iPhones, we have iMacs, we have iTunes, and now we have iDads. And what have all those other things done for you? They've enriched your life. They've bettered your life, right? So iDads is here to enrich and better your lives. And we're going to discuss no cap. What does that mean? Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys I talk to, and when they speak, it's like they're speaking a foreign language to me.
Yes. Just talking to my nephews. I mean, it's just, honestly, it's a totally different language that they speak. And yeah, no cap. Exactly. That's one of the common words that they use a lot.
Yeah, no cap. And I'm like, okay. So again, I mean, what it means is like, we're not joking around, not messing around. What was the word back in the day that we were using when we were, messing around? No joke. No joke.
No joke.
This is one. Hey, Eric, this is one for you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're
I'm ready for it.
I'm not sure if you're ready for it. It's kind of a bougie word. But it's what was it? Not real talk. Oh man, it totally slipped my mind too. It was a good one, but it's one that like I hear the white folk use a lot. The white folk use a lot, you know. Mega serious, that's what it is. Mega serious.
Mega serious.
Yeah, like if you're telling the truth and someone wants to know if are you really telling the truth, they're like, no, I'm mega serious. And I'm like,
what the
mega serious? That sounds really fruity.
really serious.
Yeah. But I guess you would just say no cap. I'm not capping.
No cap.
No cap.
So the people that are seeing us, I don't pee the floor. Okay, even though I said I did. No cap. Right?
No cap. It wasn't you.
Did
no,
you say that?
No cap. It was not you. And your wife can't prove it.
Right.
You know, you're a convenient suspect in that household. You're surrounded by 3 women. What is your dog a male or female?
Female.
So you're screwed, dude. You're surrounded by female in that house. So at the end of the day, you better put the toilet seat down because you're in a house full of females.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, also, she can't prove that those little piddles on the floor that belong to you.
Even if she tries.
She'll try.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Well, listen, in the court of law, that is very true. Innocent until proven guilty. In the court of marriage, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. The wife is right.
And even when you're proven innocent, you're probably still guilty.
Yes.
So, Eric,
Case
we're running
closed.
out of time here. I want to thank you again for joining. I want to thank our listeners for listening. Again, you've tuned in to the iDads podcast. If you could, throw us a subscribe, throw us a like, throw a comment in there. Say, hey, Eric, that sounds A-shirt stupid. Or, hey, Matt, Randy Moss doesn't play for the Niners anymore. Why are you wearing that jersey?
No cap.
No cap. Why are you wearing that jersey, homie? So, Eric, I want to thank you for being with me. As always.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you as well, too. Thank our listeners. You know, we'll be back next week. We got a lot more content for them.
Hey, we got a few listeners. Hey, listen, we got, not only do we got content for everybody, Valentine's Day is coming up. The iDads next week are going to give you some surefire, solid Valentine's Day tips. Okay. So tune in next week. We'll have some Valentine's Day tips. We also have an interview coming up with a good friend of mine who just started a movement that I'm excited to talk about. So we'll have that coming up. So continue tuning in, continue listening. Eric, as always, man, you're a beautiful Mexican man over there, repping San Jose hard. I love you, man. I thank you.
Likewise, man, you know.
And we appreciate you all listening. We appreciate your time. We know you got a lot of options, but listen, you mess around with your iPads, you mess around with your iPhones, you mess around with your iTunes, with your iMac. It's time now to mess around with some iDads.
No cap.
No cap.